All right, welcome into the show. This is Philadelphia Eagles Now by Chat Sports. I'm Chase Sr., and as always, there are so many content options out there. So no matter where you are, how you're tuned in, we appreciate you for stopping by. As for what we're getting into on today's show, Eagles making a couple of roster moves. We're going to discuss that. But also, at the tail end of today's show, is the Eagles secondary fixable, or are the Birds screwed on that back end? Very interesting numbers that we want to comb through. Now, today's program is sponsored by Game Time. If you're looking to go to an Eagles game at Lincoln Financial Field or catch the Birds on the road, the only app that you should be using to purchase your tickets is Game Time. And when you make your purchase, $20 off if you use the code EaglesChat. Why I believe this is the best ticketing app out there. They have last-minute tickets and flash deals, allowing you to save some cheddar. You can go to Eagles games, Phillies games, Sixers games, all types of sporting events, but also concerts and comedy shows. It's a very easy-to-use app that is user-friendly. You can get views from your seats to see where you'll be sitting and what you'll be paying for, and you're guaranteed to get the lowest price. So we are going to put all of this information down below in the comment section as well as in the description of this video. You look at the Philadelphia Eagles schedule coming up. It's a gauntlet for sure. Chiefs, Bills, Niners, Cowboys, Seahawks, Giants, home or away, tickets available on the Game Time app. And what's cool, as I noted, prices drop as the event gets closer. So one more time, $20 off using the code EaglesChat. It's Game Time. We'll put that link down below in the comment section and in the description of this video. So a couple of roster moves that we want to break down here on the show here today. Philadelphia signing a tight end to the practice squad, Noah Togiai. More information on him. We had an idea that this move could potentially be coming. What was interesting on Monday is that Philadelphia worked out linebacker Anthony Barr, well-known player who's had a lot of success in this league as kind of an edge rusher, but a guy who can have success dropping back in coverage. So Philadelphia was looking into the linebacker spot. Anthony Barr ended up going back to the organization that he became famous with in the Minnesota Vikings, winners of 5 straight. So Togiai worked out with Philadelphia on Monday, and he was signed by the Eagles as a UDFA back in 2020, signed again to the Eagles practice squad in 2021, 6'4", 244, 26 years old, and played his college football at Oregon State. He has played in 6 career games up to this point and is still looking for his first catch in an Eagles uniform. I don't think he's going to be elevated to the active roster unless somebody gets hurt on this Eagles tight end depth chart. Going into this Chiefs game, rematch of Super Bowl 57 at Arrowhead Stadium. This is what the tight end group is going to look like. Jack Stoll, Grant Calcaterra, Albert Okwa-Abanam. I think we're potentially going to see all of these players in that game against the Chiefs. More on the tight ends here in a bit, but the Eagles also bolstering up the offensive line with the practice squad. They have also inked Lecitus Smith to a deal. He, too, going to join the taxi squad. The skinny on Smith, who isn't that skinny of a player, 6'3", 320 pounds. He is an offensive guard, cannot play tackle. He played his college football at Virginia Tech. He was a 6th-round pick by the Arizona Cardinals last year and was with the Texans practice squad a little bit earlier this year. Didn't last long on that Texans practice squad. He was let go. Now he comes to the city of brotherly love. The Eagles worked out Smith. They also worked out Andrew Norwell, who, unlike Smith, well-traveled, has played a lot in his NFL career. Last year, played for the Washington Commanders, but that offensive line last year was awful. And Norwell must have not had a good workout with the Eagles or with other teams because he's landed a lot of workouts so far in 2023, hasn't been able to stick a job. His Pro Football Focus numbers, as we outlined here on the show a couple of times, just were atrocious. And then the corresponding roster move here, and then another move at tight end with them bringing in Togiai. Philadelphia releasing tight end E.J. Jenkins from the practice squad as well. So signing Noah Togiai to the practice squad, signing Lecitus Smith to the practice squad, and then E.J. Jenkins released. Another roster move that we want to get to kind of bolster up this safety position for Philadelphia, because we know the secondary has really struggled, as we're about to talk about. Justin Evans, he's been out for more than a month at this point with that neck injury. His practice window has opened. Now Philadelphia has 21 days to activate him to the active roster if he continues to heal. Now, if you want revenge against the Chiefs on Monday Night Football, we will be live tomorrow on Wednesday previewing this game. You know what to do, and you know you want that revenge. If that's the case, like the video here, and for daily coverage on the Philadelphia Eagles, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'm Chase Sr., host of the program here, producer Chip on the ones and twos, both Philadelphia area guys who put our whole heart and soul into covering this team on a daily basis. Let's round out the show with this. Is the Eagles secondary fixable? Can the back end be fixed? The Eagles have one of the worst pass defenses in the NFL. And a couple of storylines, notes, observations, statistics, analytics that we want to comb through here. The Eagles are the best team in the NFL with one of the worst pass defenses in the NFL. Doesn't often work out that way. 10 weeks into the 2023 campaign, the Eagles have given up the 5th most passing yards per game, the 3rd most passing touchdowns, and the most passing first downs. And they have the 2nd fewest interceptions. So they're giving up all of these yards, they're giving up all of these passing touchdowns, and they're not turning the football over. That is a recipe for disaster, and it's not always sustainable. And that's why, yes, the 8-1 start is good, but there are reasons to be concerned about this football team. And you think about how some of these games have played out against some solid quarterbacks in this league. Kirk Cousins, Dak Prescott, and then Sam Howell, who is playing behind a bad offensive line, not the best coaching staff, has some solid weapons. He's actually put up some solid numbers. Kirk Cousins, Sam Howell, Dak Prescott, all quarterbacks this year who have thrown for at least 3 touchdowns and 350 yards against the Eagles while completing simultaneously at least 65% of their passes. And you think about some of the quarterbacks that are coming up on the schedule. Going to get really difficult. Now, the Eagles did win all 3 of their games. That's what's wonky about this defensive output. They're the first team in NFL history, Reuben Frank with the numbers here, to win 3 games in a season while allowing quarterbacks to put up those numbers, and the second team to win consecutive games allowing those numbers. The Chiefs did it the first 2 weeks of 2018 after beating Phillip Rivers and Ben Roethlisberger before his arm was cooked. Philadelphia also only the 8th team in NFL history to allow 2,300 passing yards, 19 touchdown passes, and have just 4 interceptions after 9 games. And they're the first team to win more than 5 games while doing that. And again, going back to that point of the quarterbacks coming up here, you have Patrick Mahomes coming out of the bye week, Josh Allen with that offense that just fired their offensive coordinator in Ken Dorsey, Brock Purdy in San Francisco, Dak Prescott, and Geno Smith. And they rank 6th, 7th, 11th, 8th, and 14th in the NFL in passing yards per game. So things are not going to get any easier for this Eagles secondary. That's why we hope ideally they've used the bye week to patch some things up, but just patching things up is not going to be good enough. They have to make some of these changes. Now on Monday night in Kansas City, the Eagles should have, for the first time this year, their most complete and their best 5 guys available. Darius Slay, James Bradbury on the outside, Bradley Roby in the slot, and then Reed Blankenship and Kevin Byard at that safety spot. The Eagles are actually 14th best in the league in yards per pass play, so that's a positive here. It's just that they're good against the run, number 1 in the NFL, and because of that, teams can't run it on Philadelphia, so they're throwing it a lot. Teams are throwing more than 40 passes per game against the Eagles. That is tied for the highest mark in the NFL. Elsewhere, Eagles have allowed only 8 passes of 30 yards or more, 2nd fewest in the league. So in turn, a lot of passing yards, a lot of passing touchdowns, but they're keeping everything in front of them, and they're not giving up explosive plays. So while these quarterbacks are completing a ton of passes, at least they're not deep balls and momentum changers. And that's why, despite going from being number 1 in pass defense last year to number 28 this year, the Eagles are only allowing one more offensive point per game this year, 19 as compared to 20 this year. So again, not all is bad in South Philadelphia. James Bradbury has not been good. He needs to get a little bit better. Is he cooked, or can he turn it around? Him and Darius Slay have been some of the lowest ranked cornerback tandems so far in the NFL. But for the Eagles to win a Super Bowl, for them to get serious about winning the NFC, and for them to survive this 5-game stretch coming up, taking on really good teams, desperate teams, good quarterbacks, they can't allow the secondary to be as bad as they've been during this 8-1 start. It's the biggest question mark, biggest weakness on this team. We know that the offense is going to be able to bring it. And sometimes that's all that matters. But the defense has to make their job a little bit easier because you can't rely in winning in a shootout week in, week out in this league. Talent's too good. Players are too good. Quarterbacks are too good. Offenses are so complex, and the coaching is very, very good as well. All right, before we hop on out of here, make sure you subscribe and join us tomorrow. Eagles Now Live. And if you want informative, entertaining, and insightful Eagles content every single day, this is your go-to spot.